Sports.
Oh,
Hey, that was pretty good. That was good. Welcome everybody to Stuff About Sports. I'm Germ. Ty is here. Bert is here. Corey's here, and somewhere lurking in the shadows is Mike. Gentlemen, how you doing this evening?
Great.
Feeling great.
Amazing.
Awesome. Nice. We got a lot to talk about. We got Cam Chowdah. That's a bad Boston accent. I shouldn't have tried that. But
Chowdah.
we got Cam Newton to talk about. Chowdah? Wait, who has a good Boston accent? Anybody?
No, I can move. Pack the car. That's all I got.
We're going to talk about Cam Newton and all things Patriots and all things Cam Newton. We're going to talk about what was the other topic? Damn, I already forgot. The Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore teams. Mount.
Yeah, your favorite team's Mount Rushmore. So if you were watching us live, please hit up our social and we will read some of those. I did get some of those already into us. There's some interesting ones. There's some predictable ones. I'm not going to read the predictable ones. All you Eagles fans out there, your Mount Rushmores are wrong, and I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I'll tell you that you're wrong. And then we were supposed to talk about. Somebody help me out with the third topic.
Top five.
Major League Baseball, yeah.
Listen, I've done the research on this, and I'm really excited about my list. I can't wait to hear from you guys. But first, as normal, the warm up. We need to get a sounder for the warm up.
I think we've been saying that for like the last 4 or 5 weeks now.
I don't mind keeping doing it. But up first, Netflix will be doing a 6-part documentary on Colin Kaepernick, and today actually was announced that ESPN will also be doing an 8-part documentary on Kobe Bryant. Love that alliteration there. So that brought me, obviously that's something that we all would want to watch. Both of them seem very interesting. My question to you guys is, what is a sports documentary that hasn't been made that you always wanted to see? I will start with Bert.
Ooh, I mean, so I don't know about always wanted to see, because the two that I have picked were more recent. And I think, since we're talking about the Colin Kaepernick one and obviously him using his platform as a voice for more social justice and social change, the one that resonated with me about that was actually the fight of the U.S. women's national soccer team and their fight for equal pay and equality that was happening last year and how they were using their platform for that. So I thought that would be interesting. And then another almost like heel turn, and it's the forgotten, hated team of baseball as of right now, and that's the Houston Astros. I would love to see, when it's all said and done, a documentary about their entire cheating scandal, when all the facts are found, how long it was going on for, how it benefited them, and for that to continue to live on in infamy.
Isn't LeBron doing that?
I heard some. He had LeBron just landed
for
like
the Astros?
Sports. They did Clutch Sports landed a huge media deal, and they're going to be doing a bunch of sports documentaries. I don't know if that was one of them, but I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be pretty interesting. How about you, Corey?
I mean, dude, I could keep it general. First of all, I could watch a sports documentary on anything, any series, whatever. It's the reason we sat and we watched a cycling documentary, a 2-part series on Lance Armstrong a few weeks ago. Dude, I'd like to see one on the Jeter era of the Yankees, from the 90s all the way through 2014. I'd watch something on Jeter.
Nice. How about you, Mike?
Baseball's Michael Jordan.
I don't know if it was said. I was doing some studio stuff. It's happening. The Kobe Bryant Mamba Out on YouTube. So I'm excited for that. I can't get enough of it. Also, like the documentaries I'd like to see already exist. 1986 Mets. I would like more of the turmoil and drug use and craziness, and
don't we all?
Yeah, that type of stuff in my documentary. But other than that, I'm pretty set. I'm excited for this Kobe thing, so can't wait.
Ty?
I would say the AI practice incident. I would like to see.
You stole mine. Yep.
I would like to see more Sixers behind the scenes. Like, I mean, I was really like the year we went to the finals against the Lakers and pretty much just got our asses handed to us by Shaq and Kobe. Like, just for us to make it and AI to carry us how we did, I would love. I'm not sure if the practice sound clip was from the same year or not, but just those years of AI carrying us, I would love to see more behind the scenes of that, and especially just you know, like I guess to see how he handled practice with everybody else and stuff. But I would love to see some of that.
That's awesome. And if you haven't guessed, the tonight's order is Bert, Corey, Mike, Ty. I would like today's Mike Tyson's 54th birthday, and there have been plenty of Mike Tyson's documentaries on his career. What I would like to see is Mike Tyson, a documentary now, like how he seemingly transformed his life, getting back into training. Like what kind of, like, there's been stories of him traveling to like Tibetan mountains, licking toads and doing all these like weird psychedelics from around the world. I just want to see that. I want to see like how he lives his life now, post career, you know, kind of getting away from all that craziness that you know he's well known for. So
he's going to turn himself into like a pop culture icon too, because of the movies and the shows that he's done as well. So that actually be a really good piece of the documentary too.
He's definitely pop culture already. I mean, damn.
You got Jamie Foxx playing him in a documentary movie. So
he wasn't too happy about that right off the bat. Not that he wasn't happy, but rumor had it he called Jamie and was like, "Are you sure you want to?"
Yeah, he wants him to get into a dark place with it. Like
it's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Well, there is like a past beef of like in the 90s where, you know, Jamie Foxx used to imitate and make fun of the way Mike Tyson spoke, and Tyson, you know, wasn't with that shit. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Like I said, Tyson seems like he just seems at peace, even though he's still doing kind of like crazy things like licking toads and shit, but it seems like he's comfortable in his own skin.
That puts you at peace, man. Believe it or not, that kind of stuff puts you at peace. He speaks on that. Listen to his podcast. His podcast
is fantastic.
Hot boxing, bro. Steven Zuccarelli.
That's my boy Steve.
Sorry. He wants to see the Kurt Schilling bloody sock beating the Yankees and going broke on video games.
Alleged bloody sock. We don't know.
He went and broke on video games?
I have no idea.
He invested in a video game company that went toes up.
That's awesome.
Side note, Kurt Schilling was like, there were reports he's probably like one of the worst clubhouse guys you can have too. That nobody really liked him, but that could be a topic.
That's why he got fired from ESPN, right? Like nobody liked him on the baseball coverage. Like it just I don't know. It just seems like an unlikable guy. Like I don't know. Yeah. So next up, we have the NBA players are allowed to wear social justice messages on their jerseys. Guys, is this an effective use of their platform?
100%. I mean, it's a step in the right direction because you're looking at professional athletics where, since due to sponsorship reasons and league rules, they couldn't have anything of really their own character. I mean, basketball, the closest you can get is maybe wearing your own type of shoes, but even then, I don't think they could have had messaging on it. And the same thing goes for the NFL, NHL, and MLB too. So I think that the NBA allowing this is a step in the right direction because they are allowed to use their own voice. So I think it's a really good move.
Yeah, effective. That's the word there. Is it effective? Yeah. I mean, it's what they're allowed to do. It's a part of what they initially wanted because they wanted their voice to be heard. So a step in the right direction. Is it exactly what is needed and wanted? Not 100%, but it's effective. It's there.
My boy Spencer Dinwiddie had an awesome name. It was going to be Trillions. For the amount of debt we spend and waste, and we can't. So we have $1 trillion debt, but we can't fix this issue. And then it was just announced the same day as coronavirus. So unfortunately, you won't be allowed to wear that or be able to wear that anytime soon. Also, the Brooklyn Nets are pretty much eliminated from the playoffs before it even starts. So
yeah, like half the roster has COVID and they're just not playing. Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah.
Ty?
So.
Yeah, that's I mean, whatever. But I heard that they might paint the courts Black Lives Matter.
No, they are. They're going to put Black Lives Matter on center court, or at least where the playoff tags are on the sides of the court by the sidelines. I don't know if it's going to be center court.
I hope it looks like what Brooklyn did last year for Biggie, because that, first off, it looked amazing. Second off, it was done right. You know what I mean? And it was something that I was proud to see. So
they're going to have some opportunity here. There's 3 different sites there for the Disney basketball site. So maybe they'll do something different, for each, maybe a different person that they're going to pay homage to. Maybe they'll switch the courts up every round. I'm not sure. I do want to give some credit to WNBA player Angel McCautry. She plays for the Las Vegas Aces. This was actually her idea for the WNBA. She proposed on Instagram last week that the WNBA, with permission from the victims' families and certain healthcare workers, that they'd be allowed to put their names or something, a message on their jerseys instead of their names. NBA stole the idea. I mean, we can call it what it is. She wasn't that salty about it. She understands that the NBA has a much bigger platform. So either way, the message is going to be spread. But for me, I'm cool with it. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with it, but I really hope that there's some other tangible action attached to it. Like putting names on a jersey is cool, and it's I'm sure a lot of the players are going to get really creative. The NBA, I'm not sure how much they're going to censor it, because what if there's a player like Enes Kanter that doesn't have a horse in the Black Lives Matter race, and says, "Hey, free the Hong Kong workers," and we already know how the NBA in China with their deals. Like, I wonder how that's going to be the interesting part to me. I know it's like a weird place to take it, but that was literally the first thing I thought of. What if somebody just has a message that doesn't agree with what the NBA wants? I wonder if they're going to nix it. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they truly give the players the freedom to express whatever, because there's no, Black lives are the focus in the United States, but they're not the only people that have problems in this world. So hopefully, like, there's a lot of Euro players, maybe they want to do something for their home countries if they're going through some type of turmoil. So hopefully the NBA gives some latitude there. So next up, we have some more baseball players opting not to play. We have reportedly 75% of the NHL players don't want to resume and finish the season. How confident are you guys that baseball and hockey will finish their seasons? I think it's a guarantee they'll start. But how are you guys feeling about finishing the seasons?
Oh man, I'm right at that 50% mark, because it can go either way, right? At least for baseball. For hockey, after hearing that more players don't want to play, it is somewhat doubtful, because again, I mean, they have dates on when they're going to return to training camp, similar to baseball. But I mean, it's ultimately their choice if they want to go or not. So I'd give it a good 50-50 shot at this point.
Yeah, I'm less so on hockey. I'd put hockey like 25%, because other than the dates to go back to camp, we haven't really heard any positive news for that. I'm more like 90% that baseball is going to take off. I mean, their season hasn't started. They're in a contract. They need to play, and I think there's plenty of minor league guys that don't have a season this year. So and I know we'll probably touch on it, but guys like Tim Tebow in the minor system, like, call them up. Who cares? Who cares if some of these guys don't want to play? Oh well, someone will play for you.
Yeah, I'm scared every day. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even with baseball, like it was hard to get to this point, and I hope it wasn't all in vain. So hoping that we're able to play. But yeah, it doesn't sound very promising for the NHL. And honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen in general. Like, there's one active Met that has coronavirus. There's a ton in Houston that has coronavirus, and maybe they're cheating. I don't know. Get it all out of the way now, just so they don't have to test the whole team. I don't know. Maybe there's strategy behind it. But we need sports back. I mean, it's been over 100 days now, and quite frankly, it's depressing. I'm gonna be real with you. It's freaking depressing. So that's it.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. I think I love the fact that we're going to have people opting out and younger people coming in, or not even younger. Tim Tebow's case, he's like old, right? But the replacements coming in, I want to see that. I think there's going to be a mixture of talent and young talent, and some new stars maybe can come out of this. Maybe people are going to hop on social media, become personalities off of this, or whatever. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think that obviously they're going to play at this point, and there's always going to be players to replace these guys. It's not going to be like a huge outbreak and they're going to shut everything down. It's just going to be like, all right, you're out and you're in. I'm all for it. I'm looking forward to see who steps up. I want to see Tebow. I really want to see Tebow in the majors. Like, if this is what makes Tebow get in the majors, then the coronavirus is worth it. I'm sorry.
Mike, hit that button. Hit that button. Mike. Hit it.
Yeah. We'll jump right into it. I think baseball will finish its season, and I think hockey probably I think hockey will finish its season before baseball, only because hockey's jumping straight into the playoffs. They want a champion crown. They don't want a year to go by in their record books with no crown champion. Hockey can't afford that. So I think actually it's funny. I know that a lot less hockey players want to play, but like Ty said, they'll bring up somebody and they'll play, and they'll keep it going. I think baseball, they probably don't want the season because they want to go into the collective bargaining, and the owners probably want that bargaining chip on their side. And since my man Ty brought him up, everybody's heard me. It's been a couple years now. I've called into the Mike Times Bleep show. I've called in. I've texted Mike and I've spoke on it into this show. And I think if this happens, because there is a small chance, there's some conflicting reports. So until there isn't, it's definite, then I will say that there is a chance. Tim Tebow was at some point in consideration for the 60-man roster for the Mets. That 60-man roster apparently came out today. He wasn't on it. However, what's his name? Brogdon came out and said, "Hey,
Brody,
there we go." Brody said, "Hey, listen, this list isn't final. Like, there's some moving parts here. There's a shot. There's a chance." And everybody knows that when Tim Tebow comes running in from center field and all his sweat is glistening all over the Mets players, they too shall be anointed, and we all shall be saved in his name.
Like holy water, by the way.
Amen.
Listen,
Shut up, bro.
Tim Tebow should make the roster for only one reason: to save baseball. In the season where baseball's in doubt, with all the turmoil that has happened with the MLB, Rob Manfred almost ruining baseball, the players not knowing who to trust. And who do you bring in? You bring in the cousin of Jesus Christ himself, okay? Tim Tebow will save us. And he's going to make the roster because MLB and the Mets, teams like the Mets, can make easy money from all the money they're going to lose with the fans not being there. It's a no-brainer that Tim Tebow is going to be on the roster. They're just giving you that, like, the baseball fascists don't want Tim Tebow to infest their game. But
Tebow will probably have the number one selling jersey.
Tim Tebow will absolutely have the number one selling jersey in baseball.
That's really that's the only reason to bring him back is so the Mets can make money off of his likeness and jersey sales. That's basically it. He is the most over-covered average minor league baseball player
not even
to
average,
date.
below average.
He was overcovered when the best thing he did was play football in college. Even in the NFL, he wasn't anything to brag about.
He did beat the Steelers in a playoff.
Listen, he won a playoff game. He beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Yeah. I'm just letting you know.
No.
Okay, next topic.
I know. Talking about playoffs.
When's the last? Listen, Denver went through a playoff drought until the God came through.
Remember this later when we're talking about another quarterback. Let me bring it back to reality. He's under the Mendoza line. He batted in Syracuse 163. Oh. I can bat 163 in Syracuse. I guarantee you. If I
you know what else you don't have that he has? That's fine. You may be able to bat that average, but you also don't have 7 million followers on Twitter. Okay.
Oh, no,
Tim Tebow.
We pay him
Tim Tebow.
Go ahead.
His allure, we're not asking him to come save the Mets season. We're asking him to come save baseball's dollars. The more dollars the Mets bring in, the better it is for everybody. Okay? The Mets, who cares where the dollars come from? I don't care.
Who cares about his followers, though? On that logic, you may as well sign Kim Kardashian, too.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Good point. No, you should feel the best team.
So if the Rangers had, if there was a player who is renowned like Tebow. We won't say he's Tebow, but he has basically the cult following, the reach for, and the Rangers right now, aren't good, or the fans aren't there and they're not making any money. You wouldn't want him to have a roster spot so people can be in the seats, so people can watch the games, so people can buy the merch.
In normal circumstances, if you want to sell seats, that's fine. But you got to remember they're going to play when there's going to be no one in a stadium. So that's the only reason why. Well, not the only reason why he's a terrible baseball player, but that's one of the many reasons why he shouldn't even make this 60 game. Because yes, they can make money off of his jerseys, but no one's coming to pay to see anybody play.
I'll be somewhat the voice of reason between both, because I can see Germ's point. If this was a full season and you wanted to try to up sales, even if it was a full season without fans and you just want to try to generate some money, then yes. But I think the fact that it's a shorter season And typically speaking, if the Mets can get off hot like they have in previous years, there's a solid chance that they can, make a playoff run with this shorter season. Remember, the Mets don't usually collapse until after the All-Star break anyway. So they're built for a season like this. So you want to kind of save your roster spots for someone that can hit the ball for, 3/4 of the short season and then die off when the playoffs hit.
And to play devil's advocate, like if we go 0 for 20, this guy shows up. Now we're on the front page of every news, right? So, but with that said, our owners are selling, so I don't think they're really even thinking of that. So I do not think Tebow will be on the 60-man roster. The funniest thing is the Mets had no idea that they were allowed to have a 60-man roster. They showed up with 45, and MLB is like, no, man, you're allowed 60. They're like, what? Here's 45.
Mets,
and they're like, you're allowed 60.
Bro,
and they go, can we get money? And they go, no, just pick 15 more players. So now we got Milky Cabrera, which I'm excited for. But but there's a lot of minor leaguers out there that don't get the Tebow treatment, didn't get millions of dollars to sign in a minor league contract, eat a ham sandwich. It's literally 2 pieces of white bread and a slice of ham. So go ask Ty Kelly, and follow him on Twitter if you can. But it's embarrassing
who's
how
Ty,
they.
Ty Kelly?
He looks like a scared rabbit, like the rabbit.
No, the answer is he's not Tim Tebow. Is the answer? Nobody cares.
But he's played in a Major
Kelly.
League Baseball game. Boom.
And is he more famous than Tim Tebow?
Boom!
Nothing. He don't got them Tebow dollars.
Right,
Since you guys want to talk about overrated players, let's go ahead and jump into the main topics today.
Here we go.
Cam Newton, guys, signed finally after several months of being in purgatory. Cam Newton signed for the grand total of $1 million with the New England Patriots. Former MVP Cam Newton. Former MVP Cam Newton. The guy, everybody has him. The Patriots all of a sudden are going to win the Super Bowl, worth $1 million, can make up to $7.5 million with a bunch of incentives. I have a 2-part question before we can debate the move. What are your expectations for Cam Newton and the Patriots this season? And who needs this more, Cam or Bill Belichick?
My expectations for the Pats, dude, they're probably going to win the division again. They're the Pats. I got to be honest with you.
Look at Germ's. I'm looking at Germ's face right now. He's so angry.
There's
no way he's sitting through the other 3 of us without.
He has to. He has to. Go ahead, Bert.
The Pats are a well-oiled machine. We know this. Here's what concerns me, and I was talking to the guys before the show tonight too. Bill Belichick has never coached a quarterback like Cam Newton, and his system doesn't really allow for this type of mobile quarterback. The Patriots are a pocket quarterback team. They have the protection. So 2 things are going to happen. 1, Cam Newton's not even going to get the starting job. Hoyer or Stidham is going to beat him out of it, and he's going to ride the bench, which is fine. Or 2, he's going to get in, and everybody's going to realize how shitty Cam's arm is, because he's not going to, he's not going to need to run anywhere, and he probably won't be able to complete a pass. So, look, who made out better on this side? Obviously Cam did, because he landed somewhere in a notable team that could make a Super Bowl run. Overall, I think the reason Cam got delayed in signing with any team was because he is so injury-ridden over the past couple of years, and I also think his agent just isn't doing the work. There were reports that the only other team that met with Cam Newton were the Browns. And think about how many teams that signed other quarterbacks this season. And you're going to tell me that all those other quarterbacks were better than Cam Newton. Now, Jerm, you'll tell me that, but everybody else on this show knows that I'm sure Cam should have been a hot commodity. And the fact that he had foot surgery and he's still nursing that right now is also a concern as well. So he's a little bit banged up. What is refreshing to see as other former quarterbacks reaching out and realizing his potential too. So Kurt Warner reached out and said he sees a lot of similarities in how he restarted his career later on, since he moved on from the Rams and after went to the Giants and then over to Arizona and made another great run to the Super Bowl, albeit he lost. He sees a lot of similarities into what he did and what the opportunities presented for Cam. And I'll stop there and I'll let somebody else go.
I was agreeing with you
until you started.
And then your points. All right. So 3 points. Number 1, yes, I do think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs. I think Cam will be a starter. I think he's a lot better than Germ is going to tell you all that he is. Okay. First of all, we're all forgetting that this system that's going on in New England was built around Tom Brady. So enough of this, the system wasn't built around a mobile quarterback. Of course it wasn't. You've had the best quarterback in football for the last, 15, 17 years, and you didn't have to do anything but replace different pieces. You mix an already decent, we'll call them decent backfield with James White and what's his the other running back there?
They had it's Sony Michel now, but they had Dion.
Sony Michel, that's who it is. Yeah. So mix that with Cam's mobility. Now, granted, he's still got an injured foot, but you have to remember, Belichick is still Belichick. He can coach anyone. Okay, players love him. Even if they've never played for him, they do. He's still a great coach. So they are both going to lean on each other. Cam needs that resurgence, and Belichick has something to prove. Mix that with Bill's talent for taking pieces of shit that other teams don't want, polishing them up, and making Super Bowl runs with them.
Dude, players love Belichick because he has a winning system. So players like him will go and take less to be a part of that team just to chase that ring.
Dude, get this system, this system word out of your head. He will mold Cam into the quarterback that they both need. Okay? He will give Cam some freedom to be Cam, but he will also keep him in line to be able to win football games. He's going to make him a better quarterback.
The bottom line is he was just picked up for chump change. There's backups in Dallas that made more money. There's backups Nick Foles making more money than him. It's freaking ridiculous. But the one thing that it opens up is their purse. Now they could bring in, drum roll, Odell Beckham Jr. So he's not only going to have weapons, whether it be on the running side, he's going to have legit wide receivers.
He already has legit wide receivers.
I agree, but you saw when Antonio Brown was with the Pats for that one game, it was magical. Imagine Odell Beckham. No, it was it opened up the entire. Brady was having a field day.
It was an easy game. It was an easy game with him added. You can tell.
Yeah, so imagine Odell Beckham Jr. in Pats land. I disagree with the amount of money. I think it's ridiculous to think that Cam Newton just got this amount of money and this little amount of money. And there's guys out there that are clearly way worse. So I feel like they kind of knew this guy wanted to be in New England, and they took advantage of that. It's a 1-year deal, so this guy, if they make it through the playoffs and they're in the Super Bowl, I'm not rooting for the Patriots. This season I'm rooting for Cam. I don't care. I want to look at the stats. I want to see Cam do his thing, and if the Patriots lose, great.
Oh man!
But I want Cam Newton.
I would love to see Tampa Bay New England Super Bowl this year.
No, relax. Jamal's about to trigger Jamal.
I say it? Oh,
but so my prediction on Cam, I'm definitely high on Cam this year. I was already I thought he would have a good season regardless of where he ended up in terms of play and just his own effort. I believe that he was going to have a decent year, but with a coach like Belichick and on the Patriots, now it's like, all right, I'm sold on him. And if he is healthy, because obviously in my opinion, that's the only thing that we can talk about is his health. That's the only thing that should worry anybody in regards to Cam is his health. So if you're talking about a healthy Cam, has been the best player in the league. Forget the best quarterback. He's been the best player in the league, winning MVP. He's a special talent. From all on doing anything with the ball. He's a special talent. He's like Tim Tebow, but like actually good. He can do a lot of different things, and he's a damn football player. So as long as he's healthy, that's the only thing I'm worried about. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't know where he is in terms of health. But in terms of talent, for him to get paid what he got paid is like, it is mind boggling. And Sherman brought that up and was like one of the first people to point that out. Like, man, how's he getting to 1 million when people like, let me look, I made notes of this. You got Chase Daniel. I guess a lot of people are talking about Chase Daniel, right? He's 33 years old and he got 3 years, 13 million. Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick making 8 million. Ryan Fitzpatrick made 8 million this year. Colt McCoy making 2 million.
Phillip Rivers signed with the Colts for was 25 million or 23 million.
Yeah, and I'll give those guys that because he hasn't been hurt and he's had a long career and he's been productive in my opinion in terms of Rivers. So, but people like Nathan Peterman,
Right.
Nathan Peterman's gonna make $2 million this year. Nathan Peterman, he holds a record for the most interceptions in his debut NFL game.
Yeah,
These are people that are getting paid twice as much as Cam Newton. Something about that is alarming.
But the outlier is these clubs that we're referring to that are overpaying these guys are desperate.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think the Patriots made out. Obviously, the Patriots made out. They're gonna have all these quarterbacks. For one, Brian Hoyer has the same contract as Cam Newton, damn near, minus the incentives. They're the same base salary. Brian Hoyer and Cam Newton. What? Brian Hoyer and Cam Newton have the same contract? Like that makes no damn sense. The Patriots made out, and they're gonna. I think they're gonna be fine as long as Cam. Even if Cam isn't healthy, I believe in a Patriots system. I believe in Bill Belichick. With Hoyer or Stidham, I do see them being 8-8, possibly 9-7. I still think they're a middle of the pack kind of team, and they're going to be fighting for that last wild card spot. They might not make it, but with Cam, now I'm like, okay, they might get 10 wins. They might be able to get 10 wins, and now it depends on what other pieces of the puzzle fills in, and how the rest of the division is going to play out. They might be able to sneak into the playoffs, but they're sure as hell you're not counting these people out. Jamal wants to make the point about them. Tanking. I know, but because it is what it is. But he's saying he should tank. Like they're saying he should tank for Trevor Lawrence, and it's like Belichick was never going to tank, right? He's never going to tank. He's going to try to win, even if Stidham's playing, even if Hoyer's playing. They're still going to go 7-9, 8-8.
Right.
But Cam's going to have a good season. Go ahead, Jamal.
Oh, I can't wait. Hold on.
We're gonna pause for station ID for a second. So we'll be back after this.
So you finally started that podcast. It's hosted and it's posted, but you're not getting the listeners that you thought you would. So what do? You need people to give you a shot. And that's why you need to go over to www.giveusashot.network. They are the rawest and most down-to-earth podcast network online. Their mission is to help podcasts reach their highest potentials. They know what it takes to plan, produce, publish, and promote a podcast. So by joining that network, you will get all the support you need to create your podcast from scratch and promote it successfully to the world. That's what I did. Go over to www.giveusashot.network.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you gave me that time to collect myself. I can't believe what I heard here today. I'm disappointed, surprised, shocked, appalled, maybe. Here's a few words that you guys were saying that I jotted down here just for reference. I didn't want to miss these, and I just wanted to make sure that I got this right. I heard the word talent a few times.
Bro, come on.
Heard the word potential more than once. Interesting words. Healthy, if healthy, several times during your collective diatribes here. I don't get this. It's not that Cam Newton. Those are all the words that you use to describe Cam Newton, and all of them are true. However, that's all you can say about him, right? I don't know what other people are seeing in a 10-year sample size that makes people see this thing that Cam Newton simply just like he's this other guy. Okay, he's only had 2 seasons above 60% completion percentage. He's been well into the double digits in turnovers. 2015 is the one year that you guys have where he threw 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. In no other instance will you look at that and make the case over a career, right? If any of us did something one time over a 10-year career, what is the word for that? It's called a fluke, okay? That is the definition of a fluke season. Cam Newton has been largely 7-9 and average and sometimes good. Is he extremely talented and physically gifted? It's his potential that makes you guys this delusional when it comes to Cam Newton, right? So
he did win MVP, so it's not potential anymore.
Okay,
he actually tapped into that potential.
That's fine. Right. Again, a fluke season. Dirk Nowitzki played 13 years, he might have played 20 years and won 1 championship out of it. Do you think he's a championship player? Like, would you use that to characterize his entire career? No, you wouldn't, Todd. Stop it. All right.
Dirk's
it's a fluke season. It was a hot season, and it's indicative if you look at his stats, right? So outside of that 35 and 10 interception season, his best year was 24-13, right? He's never had a season where his QBR was at 70. I mean, 67 was his highest. That's below league average.
Has Chase Daniel or Nathan Peterman gotten either accomplished either one of those?
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Rarely in sports do the contracts equal out to the talent, whether that's you're being underpaid or overpaid. Would you agree with that? There are players like LeBron James who have never had max deals. Do you think LeBron James earns a max deal? Does that make him any less of a player because he hasn't gotten it? The contracts and the money don't matter. Chase Daniel gets that money because he's been a reliable, consistent backup his entire career.
Yeah, reliably
Cam
bad.
Newton,
Reliably bad. And Colt McCoy is making more too. They're reliably bad. But like,
you're only
I think,
worth with somebody.
I think what
okay,
bothers
fine.
me is the fact that nobody else even made an offer. Like nobody else even called. It seemed
Right.
It's like,
Exactly.
so you're telling me you went and
knows the
signed
truth.
Peterman and Marcus Mariota and these people. You went and signed these people before you even thought of Cam. That's wild to me.
Do you think Colin Kaepernick is not in the league because of his play? Do you think his play is worthy of being in the league?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Why do you think he's not in the league?
We
all
know why he's not in the league.
Right.
No,
We
I
know
want
why.
somebody to
He'll be there.
Okay. Do you think
He'll
a
be here
team
shortly,
want
but
Colin,
say that
do you
again.
think a team would like Colin Kaepernick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've said that for years.
Why do you think they're not signing him? What does it bring when Colin Kaepernick is there? A circus, the antics, the Cam Newton wearing the babushkas,
In their eyes,
pouting,
yeah.
throwing towels, sitting on the ground with his head down, throwing his teammates under the bus, talking down to women reporters. People don't want to deal with that. On top of his injury history, the guy's been injured, man. Like he's and for some reason you think that because he won the MVP 5 years ago, all of a sudden he's going to be good now. And what sport do you say, well, he was good 10 years ago, so I think right now we're going to get that production, even though he hasn't shown anywhere near that production since then.
Well,
The
if you look
Patriots
at
get
my
the benefit
example
of the
by Kurt
doubt,
Warner,
even though
though-
I don't think.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If you look at my example with Kurt Warner's career was all but done after he left the Giants and went to Arizona. That's where he saw the resurgence. So moving to a different environment, different team, different coach could spark something different with Cam if he stays healthy.
We got Todd on social media saying Cam's highest completion season is 68%, and at best 500% win percentage in the year.
Can we
That's
just
the Pats.
can we throw completion percentage out the window, please?
No, you
Like
can't.
last year, you can though. Last year
Yeah.
there was only 3 quarterbacks that were above 70%,
Well-
2 of which were just at 70.
Also, he
And
did this
then-
in Carolina.
But not even that. But like
He
look
had
at last
Steve
year.
Smith. He had Greg Olson, 2 of the top players at his position
Well,
for a
and I agree.
majority of his
And-
career.
And
Just
just like
slot receiver and a tight end though. He
and
never.
Who has
Ken
Aaron
Roach-
Rodgers had? Aaron Rodgers has nobody. He's always at the top. It's
Roach just
clearly the Packers, not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Cam Newton. Cam Newton has been largely the problem. It's turnovers. Him not even just simply being there. Right? It's a lot of things. The market. Okay.
2018, he was there. He got injured. I mean, he had 19 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Great.
They've
One out of 9
worse.
years.
They've been worse without him though. Like, I mean, you know that. Like, come on.
Okay. The market spoke. His body's clearly and visibly broken, right?
And a Marcus racist is what we're getting at. Move on.
But
Next topic.
I think. But listen, I think what hurt him most is his injuries. I think that uncertainty is what brought his value down the most. If you had a perfectly healthy Cam, even if he did have a low completion percentage, and let's say he played all games last year, and he had shit go at it, and they were whatever. If he was healthy, I think he would have been scooped up a lot earlier. I think that those injuries is what's kind of hurting his value.
You guys,
He's a 31-year-old running quarterback. All right. Of all the running quarterbacks and that have gone on, has not really improved his passing. It's gone down, right? It was down, it was bad, and then 2015 came, and then it went right back down again. Again, it's a fluke, man. Like I don't understand.
I think you just need that to be the narrative for your Bills.
It's
That's
not.
all.
No, it's not the narrative.
You just need that to be the narrative. You hope that. I hope for your sake that Cam's done. For your sake, Jamal, I hope you're right.
Even with Cam Newton on the Patriots, the Bills are still the better team because the Patriots, no matter who was going to be quarterback, was always going to be a downgrade at that position.
Who's your quarterback?
Means they're automatically going to be worse.
Who's your quarterback and coach? Is your quarterback and coach an MVP and best coach in the
Josh
league?
Allen
Is your quarterback an MVP and your coach the best coach of all time? Who's your quarterback coach tandem? I'm betting on that. I bet on the Patriots in the division.
The Bills have a better defense. The Bills have a better roster top to bottom. Josh Allen right now is better than Cam Newton right now. Statistics bear that out, right? He's white Cam Newton, except he's 10 years younger. Okay, you want to talk about the poster boy of black mediocrity, and he gets so much love. Okay, how about my boy Tyrod Taylor, who on paper is way better than Cam Newton, but nobody will give him the credit because he's jumped teams.
Not even his team. His team would have been given the credit because his team put him on a bench and drafted Herbert.
Hey, well, the league spoke on Cam Newton now. He was,
The
Cam
league's
Newton.
racist. Yeah, next topic.
The league's racist.
Your final thoughts on Cam Newton?
Black guys can't be quarterbacks.
No, we're not done with Cam Newton. We're done on Cam Newton. We're not done with the Patriots. The Bills are going to win. Mark it down. Timestamp it. The Bills are going to win this division by 2 or 3 games.
Oh,
still.
Lord, here we go.
Cam Newton's not even going to finish the year. Richard Sherman spoke to. Go ahead, Ty. Your boy Richard Sherman chimed in and said that that it was a travesty that Cam Newton made the salary when there's backups. Somebody mentioned Nick Foles as well. Nick Foles got that money from Jacksonville because he did something that Cam Newton hasn't done. Win a Super Bowl, right? Yes. So Jacksonville thought they were getting Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. He got injured and then tried to come back too early from his injury due to the pressure. It's not his fault that the Jacksonville Jaguars decided to trade him and that the Bears are going to have to pay it. That's not Nick Foles' fault. But Richard Sherman shouldn't be talking. He's the one who accepted an incentive-laden deal with the 49ers and called it a betting on myself year. And now he's acting like king shit, like he's talking for everybody. And, Richard Sherman should just shut the fuck up. Like, nobody cares what you have to say.
That's actually something I got.
What was Richard Sherman's base deal, though? Pre-incentive.
It's more than Cam's.
Yeah, I want to. If somebody wants to look it up, I want to shout out Steve Wallman, super fan, said Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl with the laugh emoji.
I would love to see
Jared, maybe with Jared Stidham as quarterback. That's the only shot they have.
Anthony Puglisi said, "F the Pats. I'm a Jets fan. I'll root for the Bills before in that game." But then he also said Bills not winning the AFC East.
Listen, I don't have to do a lot of talking. I'm going to let the season play out. The Bills are better than the Patriots. I don't care what anybody says. Our defense is better. Our coach is one of the best coaches in the league. He's up and coming. Josh Allen's in his 3rd year. Josh Allen's better than Cam Newton is right now. He does everything Cam does. He just does it better. And he's younger. And he's white, so he has that advantage.
Brendan DeWitt on Facebook said Cam is the D Rose of football. You have to cross your fingers and pray he doesn't get hurt every year. Pats won't see the playoffs this year.
That's a great comparison, Brandon. I never said that Cam Newton wasn't talented. Is Derrick Rose a Hall of Famer for as great as he is individually? No, neither is Cam Newton. You can't count on this guy. He's a flash in the pan. There can be the Hall of Very Good, right? Cam Newton's going to be in the Hall of Very Good. And that's all he did.
Can we make the Hall of Very Good?
Wait, Jerm said,
we can.
Said he's not talented after calling us all out for saying that there's talent there and then took 15 minutes to shit entirely on Cam Newton's production.
No. I shit on the idea that he is somehow a guy who couldn't get any interest other from the Browns and a $1 million deal from the Patriots all of a sudden makes the Patriots elite. They somehow put Cam Newton in an elite class, even though he has not, the numbers have shown, he is not elite. It's the same thing as like putting Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame. Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer. He's a perennial loser.
None of us said the word elite, but the media has eaten this up.
I'm not okay. Then I'm not speaking.
I know you mean.
When I say you guys, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying the
pro.
No,
I know what you mean. I just want to say
for
anybody listening, nobody here said elite, but the media circus out there definitely is.
I'm talking to you guys. You guys, unfortunately, are the face of the people that I have to educate here. Okay, I have to be the voice of reason. That's Cam Newton. We'll see what happens with them. I mean, I know they're saying that Jared Stidham's still the starter. It's a competition, blah blah blah. But it's Cam Newton's going to end up being that starter. I mean, but who knows? Jared Stidham might be the truth. From what I've seen from him in college, he was good. But how many players are good in college and end up not? Remember Ryan Mallett? That was my last point about the Patriots and Cam Newton. The Patriots always get the benefit of the doubt, and they're using Newton as, wait for it, drum roll, camouflage for them getting caught cheating and getting caught and fined again $1.1 million for bringing in cameras into the Cincinnati Bengals of all teams' practices. They're not allowed to use any cameras at all to film anything as a team. for this upcoming season. So yeah, but they get the benefit of the doubt with these things, right? Like, how many players have they brought in? Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, Albert Haynesworth, Tim Tebow, that haven't panned out, but they seem to get credit for Randy Moss. It's like, that's the same kind of thing with Cam. Like, they've struck out a lot here. So hopefully it happens again for my Bills Mafia. Stand up. All right, moving on to baseball. With baseball ramping up, I guess against the players' will or against the owner's will, who knows whose will it's against, but we're going to get baseball. So heading into the season, I asked the guys to compile their top 5 hitters, because that's really all we care about, right? Chicks dig the long ball. It's not the size of the bat, it's the width and the girth that counts. So who are your top 5 hitters in going into the 2020 season?
So I took 2 things into consideration: home runs, batting average, and batting average. So if one was lacking in one, but the other kind of made up for it, I put them on my top 5. Starting with number 5, and my number 5 is based solely on predicting what he can do in 2020. Is Mookie Betts, and I think it's going to help moving over to the Dodgers too.
We're doing current hitters. I thought we were doing all time.
Nope,
current. Because we're heading into the 2020 season.
Read your text messages.
You can give your all-time list. You could be different, like when Mike put white presidents for the white excellence. You can go ahead and just...
So number 5 for me is Mookie Betts. Number 4 is a hitter from the Yankees, but probably not the one you're thinking, and that's DJ LeMahieu. He came 4th in votes for the AL MVP, 2nd in votes for the AL hitting award, batting title. It had a great year last year, expecting even better things this year too. Number 3, we're going with NL MVP Cody Bellinger. Number 2 is back-to-back NL batting title champion Christian Yelich. And number 1, Mr. HGH himself, Mike Trout.
Nice.
Duh. Winning.
I'll back that. I'll start number 1. I had Trout, and I just say I had, meaning about 30 seconds ago when I figured out it wasn't all time and it was right now. After Trout, I'll go Mookie. Manny Machado. A lot of you guys forget about Manny. I mean, come on, don't sleep on him. He's still a kid. He can still hit the ball. Number 4, and I'm only saying this because I was told that I looked just like him about a week ago, Mr. Bryce Harper.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Bryce is still Bryce, even though he's in a different uniform and he's still in Philly. And then I will go back to the Dodgers with Cody Bellinger. I think he can clean it up. That's it.
Mike is in his bag today.
Oh, are you ready?
Stop touching the board.
He's shooting from half court, man. He's shooting from half court today. This guy doesn't give a fuck. Jeez.
We're going Polar Bear Pete, number 1.
Oh, God. Yeah, notice there was 0 math on 2 of these lists so far.
I'm going to go with the guy that Polar Bear Pete took out of the equation, Aaron Judge, number 2. So I went with 2 homers. Number 3, I'm going Mike Trout because he looks like a fish, smells like a fish. It must be a fish.
How do you know what he smells?
I smelled them.
Jesus Christ.
Number 4, Bellinger. And then number 5, I'm going with Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Oh, my
The dude is
God.
unbelievable.
Guy.
If we had a beer league softball or like you just needed a guy to bat, and it's just so beautiful and sexy.
Great. He can come and hit a slow pitch softball league.
No, if he's anything like his dad, the ball could bounce and he's hitting out of the park.
I know, man. When he makes contact, he clears.
It's gone. And he's playing in a freaking, I mean, that's like, forget, it's not a ballpark. That's a city. He hits it out of a city to get, that stadium is large. It's not like your bandbox and the other one in Philly. This is real men playing ball. So that's my 5. I'm sticking to it. It's nothing but a Steve Rock.
Oh man.
All right, Ty.
So I'm not far off with my top 2. Pete Alonso. I'm going off of the last home run derby. Honestly, I'm just going off of what have you seen? What have you shown me lately? What have you done for me lately? So the best hitter is Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete Alonso. I don't know how anybody else can. That's just number one. He's just like Jordan of hitting right now. He has a throne. He has a crown. He's a number one hitter. So Pete Alonso's number one, Polar Bear Pete. And then I just have to go with the runner up, and that's Vlad Guerrero. I don't watch much baseball, but I watch a home run derby. And that guy, Jesus Christ, I don't even know. It was like scary how many home runs he was hitting. He just kept swinging, like he just swung and swung and swung, and he would just hit it. Like I think he hit way more home runs than Pete Alonso. He probably should have won. And somehow, because of the tournament style, he lost. But he hit more. Yeah, it was weird. I remember watching it like, man, this guy Vlad Guerrero Jr., man, like it looks like his dad played baseball or something. He's so good. Trout, I would have to put at 3 just because of everybody says he's the best hitter. So he's number 3. So that's just this is how my list goes. Everybody swears Trout has the best swing in baseball. All the kids say is Trout. Everybody, all the kids and the adults and their moms say is Trout. So it's Trout at number 3. For 4, I'm going to go with the guy that almost won me the Fantasy Baseball League, and that's Acuna, Robert Acuna. Ronald Acuna. Junior as well, I think. Isn't he a junior too?
Yes.
Yeah, we got 2 juniors in here. I don't know what he does, but he got a lot of numbers for me, and I almost won, and I don't even know how. I just kept switching the players out, but he never came out the lineup, and he dominated all season for me, so I have to put Acuna at 4, and then I'm going Harper, mainly because he's just, he's pretty handsome. So, and he got a lot of money, and he got a lot of money for being a good hitter. So I always hear that he's a number 2 to Trout. I don't know. Obviously, we're hearing about Bellinger. I heard he's a really good hitter in Yelich. These guys are just not as popular. So I'm just going with the popular guy. I'm going number 5 with Harper. I don't watch much baseball. Go ahead, Jamal.
So I've said on this show before that me and Bert are soulmates, and 4 of my top 5 are the same as his, just in a little bit different order.
Yes.
At number 5, I do have Mookie Betts. He was the best hitter probably towards the end of last season anyway. I feel really bad that this shortened season is going to affect his money probably. This shortened season with the Dodgers. But yeah, Mookie Betts is my number 5. Cody Bellinger is my number 4. He's probably the most complete player in baseball from top to bottom.
Agreed.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of baseball outside of, some of the Mets, but the Dodgers. I had MLB Pass for some reason. I think I got it for free by accident. So I was watching a lot of baseball last year, and Cody was one of the Dodgers where I always watch them. Christian Yelich, Miami must be, the entire franchise of Miami probably should just kill themselves, letting him go. It's unbelievable how this guy's doing this in Milwaukee. Mike Trout. I don't know if you guys seen. I mean, if you can do what he can do at Topgolf, I mean, he's got to be in the top 5. I mean, this guy, even though he's a perennial loser, him being one of the best hitters in the world doesn't mean anything for the Angels. He's still one of the best hitters in the world. And number 1 is Ronald Acuna. He's probably going to win the NL MVP. Ronald Acuna is the best hitter in baseball. So that was fun. Now we're going to have even more fun. We're going to kick it up a notch. Oh, I forgot. My top 5-ish. I got 1A and 1B. 1A, Polar Bear Pete.
Yeah.
Yes, give it to him. Number 1B, what is it? 1C, another one, Pete Alonso. No, 1D, another one, Pete Alonso, the greatest of all time. All right, so that is my top 5-ish baseball hitters. And the last topic, we had a lot of fun with this. We got a lot of good engagement online when it comes to sports. Now that sports are coming back and they've been playing a lot of classic games on TV, I was curious to know who was on your favorite team's Mount Rushmore sports. Now, there are some of you out there who do not know how to listen or just haven't been paying attention in history class. Mount Rushmore only has 4 faces on it, and a lot of you were sending me 6 or 7 names. So I'm not going to read yours because we only allow, I don't speak GED on the show. All right, so Bert, you go first. Kick it off for us.
So I made 3 different lists. I guess I'll only read one because I did one, the Giants, Yankees, and Rangers.
No, go for it, man. Go for it.
Go for all of them?
Yeah.
I'll start with the Yankees because it's probably the easiest ones, and any Yankee fan growing up and watching them dominate throughout the 90s and early 2000s. So 4 heads on Mount Rushmore. There's no reason why it shouldn't be the core 4 Yankees. Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, and Andy Pettitte. There's no reason to look past that for my Mount Rushmore for the New York Yankees. Break that board. Moving on to the Rangers. The captain, Mark Messier, has to be there. Brought a Stanley Cup back to New York. Possibly one of the greatest American goaltenders of all time, Mike Richter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Another great American-born defenseman, Brian Leach. And finishing up with a current New York Ranger and playing well over 10 years, the King, Henrik Lundqvist. Wrapping it up with the Giants. Lawrence Taylor, number 1. Number 2, coach, not a player, but Bill Parcells deserves his shot on Mount Rushmore for the Giants in itself. Number 3, Eli Manning.
I like it.
Number 4, I had a tough time with this one, but I have to go Harry Carson. So, I mean, with 2 members of the Big
Harry
Blue...
Carey? Never mind.
Yeah. 2 members of the Big Blue Wrecking Crew on there between LT and Harry Carson, but thought it was necessary. Some honorable mentions, Armani Toomer. I had a tough time putting him on there, especially with the other ones listed there in itself. So those are my 3 Mount Rushmores.
Nice.
All right. I'm with Bert for the Yankees for core 4. If I had to do it for the Devils, I'll only do 2 just to speed it up and get to you guys because we're running a little late here. So if I had to do a Devils Mount Rushmore, obviously Scott Stevens would be on there. I would pick Ken Danico on defense right next to him. The greatest goaltender to ever play the game, Martin Brodeur. And one of the best goal scorers I've ever seen play, with the exception of Wayne Gretzky, Mr. Patrick Elias.
Beautiful.
I'm not going to do what you think I'm going to do.
Shocker.
And I'm going to go with the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Jesus.
I am going to go Jackie Robinson, number 1.
Yes.
Roy Campanella, number 2. Saddest story you could ever hear in baseball. Guy got into a car accident while coming from work because back then we didn't pay baseball players like real salaries or anything. He ended up being paralyzed from the neck down. It's the absolute saddest story ever. And I recommend, if you don't know about it, you should. On number 3,
thanks for uplifting the show, Mike.
Sleep tight, everybody.
Number 3,
Yeah.
Gil Hodges. Number 4, Duke Snyder. And
Duke.
Number 5, a guy who helped Jackie in a lot of ways, Pee Wee Reese. So
Pee-wee. Nice.
that's my 5 Brooklyn Dodgers.
All right. So, I thought I was just doing one team, but I'd go off the Sixers off the top of my head because I think that's be easy. But I'm gonna start with the Bucks, and it's gonna be very simple. 4 defensive players that were on the team when we won the Super Bowl: Lynch, Barber, Sapp, Brooks. Lynch, Barber, Sapp, Brooks. It's nothing else for me, and that's really when I became a fan too. Like that defense really was like it was exciting. But that's the 4 for the Bucks.
That's a good look.
Yeah, and I think they should all be Hall of Famers. I think Lynch is not in. I think Barber's not in yet. They should all be all Hall of Famers, but it's going to be tough for Lynch, I believe, and Barber. He's still
Rondé. It'll be tough for Rondé.
He needs to, man. It's ridiculous. But the Sixers next, I'll have to obviously AI, Dr. J, Barkley, Wilt. That's pretty easy, I believe, as well for 4, and that's all that matters for me.
Yeah, I actually wrote down my Sixers and Bills list, and Ty, off the top of your head, you're right. Those are the 4. You know, I was juggling Barkley and Moses for like maybe 3 seconds there, but I think just Barkley. I don't know. It's hard to say Barkley was the better player, but I think I remember Barkley as like a indefinite Sixer for some reason. He just maybe it was the jersey, the crazy jersey that they wore back then. But for the Bills, that was honestly fairly simple for me too. 4 straight Super Bowls. It's Jim Kelly, it's Thurman Thomas, it's Bruce Smith, and it's Andre Reed. Those are the best 4 Bills players covering every position. I don't even think there was anybody close to even taking anybody's spot on that list for me. We have a couple on social. Steve Zuccari gave us, he's a Boston Red Sox fan. He gave us Ted Williams, Big Papi, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, and Pedro Martinez.
That's 5, right?
No,
That is-
Big
I did
Papi,
five.
David Ortiz. I gave him.
Oh.
Yeah, he wrote Big Papi, and I was like, "Who's Big Papi?" And David Ortiz, the guy who when Ryan Braun got caught said, with steroids, said anybody who gets steroids should get banned permanently from baseball. But he said it in his like weird Cuban or Dominican voice that he has, and then the very next year he gets caught taking steroids. So good luck with that. And yet people forget that, but so fuck Big Papi.
Oh,
So. What else do we have?
No.
Cal, what'd you say?
I said no.
No, nothing. Hey, we got Cal, friend of the show, with the Eagles. Reggie White, Brian Dawkins, Randall Cunningham, and Brian Westbrook. That is interesting. I think. I mean, is McNabb a greater Eagle than? I guess.
Westbrook.
I guess
I think
statistically,
and Westbrook, I would swap those two.
yeah. I just think people like Randall more than McNabb.
Yo, those super
right?
commercials are
definitely.
fire.
Like I know McNabb probably has him in like accomplishment, so maybe that's why you would put McNabb in over Randall. But I just think historically people are team Cunningham, for that. And he has a Phillies one too. Let's see, I lost it for a second. Okay, Mike Schmidt, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, and Chase Utley, which is interesting.
You lost me. You
Chase
lost me,
Nutley.
Utley.
Ugh.
Chase Nutley, is that what you called him?
Chase Nutley.
Nutley. I would put Kruk in there only because I just remember watching
Yeah,
Kruk on my old
Oh
box
God,
TV.
another on there. That guy just
Yeah.
started watching after they won.
Who?
Cal.
To put Chase
Cal?
Utley on anything, you're just riding high in that World Series. I mean, yeah, he was a great player, but give me a break. Like,
I mean, but you kind of have to. So it's kind of like the Nick Foles thing, right? Like Nick Foles should get a statue before McNabb. No,
I guess.
I mean, he got-
so what? So he picked Jimmy Rollins. Who did he
Yeah.
pick? Give me out all.
Jimmy Rollins, Mike
Howard. Go ahead.
Ryan Howard.
Yeah.
Schmidt,
Ryan
Utley.
Howard, Mike Schmidt, Utley, and J Roll.
I would
J Roll
put
should be on there. J Roll is
Tug
the face of
McGraw.
the. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys. Like I just think he's missing a
Harper.
lot of Phillies.
Well, we know he's missing something. He's a Phillies fan.
Yeah,
It's his Mount
exactly.
Rushmore, though. Whatever makes him happy.
Yeah. No, I like his list. I thought Roy Halladay would have been in there. He told me that Roy wasn't there long enough. So we have Brandon DeWitt. He gave us
Jimmy didn't land on
he
that
gave
list.
us a Steelers. You can find those wacky, goofy sounds on the Mike Times Bleep show. He's testing them out on our show for some
I
reason.
had to get rid of the clown thing. So
I got you.
that's my new clown.
Killer Cal shot back. He's firing shots at us. Said Chase was the epitome of Philly. A lot of people share that.
I'll agree.
sentiment.
I
A
will
lot of people
agree with
like
that. I will absolutely agree that he is the epitome of Philly. I don't think that's a compliment.
That's why everybody hates
Well,
him.
without Chase, we don't have this or a network.
You gotta give us a shot.
So
Yeah.
that was based off of Terry Collins
Mhm.
being pissed off that Noah Syndergaard threw behind your
Chase.
boy Chase Utley, who was a pansy and no longer on your team, and in a Dodgers uniform, got thrown behind. You threw out Thor. You messed up our mojo, and our 80-year-old manager had to come out and yell at a bunch of people and go, "This is bullshit, Tommy."
Get off my lawn.
Give us a shot.
But hey, we appreciate you listening to us tonight. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
but
I wanted
that's
to hear.
two rings, Al. You got 2 rings. The Mets have 2 rings. Deal with it. I'm hitting it.
Clown.
Brandon DeWitt with the Steelers gave us Troy Polamalu, Jack Ham, Jerome Bettis, and he put Coach Cower on there, which I think counts, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
How
Oh
do you not
yeah.
put Terry on there?
If I were to do a Dolphins one, I'd put Shula
Terry.
on there.
Terry Bradshaw.
I
Terry
like-
Bradshaw is slightly better Joe Namath. Like, I don't know if I'm giving Terry Bradshaw a lot of the
I
credit.
like Heinz Ward, man. Like he's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Hines should be on there. Yeah.
I love me some Heinz Ward, man. I'm sorry.
I love the bus though, man. Bettis is on there for sure.
But you know
He
what?
could
A
be
team-
better 4 times.
Cordell Stewart. So,
No, hell no.
Why not?
A team like the Steelers is probably hard to do a definitive for. They just have so much history. Like
they
I
got
don't think
linemen for days too, man. They got linemen that we probably we never thinking
rings
about,
for
man.
days.
you couldn't. I don't think like a lot of those legacy teams, like the Packers, the Bears, the
Cowboys.
teams like Cowboys. Like I don't think anybody's Mount Rushmore would be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they just have
I
so
bet
much.
you some bum ass Cowboy fans that are Mount Rushmore would be wrong.
Oh, Dak,
I bet it would be.
Tony Romo, is Tony Romo.
Dak, for the record, guys, Dak still didn't
No.
get paid. I can't tell you how excited I am that Dak didn't get paid yet.
Well,
You know who is
well,
about to get paid though? by
He
the
signed
way?
a tender, but he didn't
that's
get
why
a contract.
he's gonna make. If that tender goes through, it's the most money than any quarterback this year.
I'm going to say he's going to at least make $31 million, right? Like, I mean, if it doesn't get signed, then he's going to get 31 million.
Nah.
And I mean, shit.
Apparently, Zeke started celebrating for him already.
Jeez.
But you know who is about to get paid actually tomorrow? Bobby Bonilla.
Oh,
Hey,
is it
shout out
Bonilla
to
Day?
Bobby Bonilla Day.
Till
Oh,
2035. He's getting $1.5 million a year.
Until 2035, right?
Yep, 2035. Shout out to Bobby Bonilla, the ultimate
Yeah,
finesser,
man.
the finesse
We gotta
god.
get a Bobby Bonilla contract, man. How do I
No,
get
I'm
a
about to
Bobby
get a
Bonilla
Bobby Bonilla.
contract?
I'm going to
Pay
get a
more
Bobby
than
Bonilla
him.
jersey.
you could thank the Ponzi scam for it. Like a Will
We gotta
Ponzi-
start one of those.
Thank you. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Shit.
Everybody join the
Dick,
network.
Darren-
it's only $1,000, and we'll pay you back $10,000 next year, guaranteed.
Seeing Club Fed. Yo, Ty and I will learn how to play tennis while we're in federal prison. It would be beautiful. Like that guy is in. He's living better than us while he's in jail. Club Fed is where it's at. So yeah, let's start a Ponzi scheme. Do you want to?
Speaking of that, today was the last day of former Brooklyn Net legend Darren Williams. He was being paid.
Rest in
let's
peace,
see.
buddy. Oh, he's not
What?
dead.
No, he's not
Wow.
dead.
Oh,
Today is
right.
That's dark.
he's been getting paid $5 million a year from Brooklyn. He last played in 2015. So shout out to Darren Williams for making $5 million a year for the last 5 years. I'm sure he's pretty set for life.
That's nice.
Does anybody have anything else? Because that's it for our list for today that I
Let's
had.
talk about happy hour. What are we doing on happy hour, Jerm?
Ooh, that's a good one. I had a couple topics that I jotted down there. You know what? We're gonna surprise you guys.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll do some overrated, underrated, properly rated. Everybody likes that shit. I'll have a surprise.
Overrated.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Oh my god.
Overrated.
I will say for those that do tune into the network, Push the Agenda podcast, I gotta also mention the brand new Mike show airing Sunday with special guest Laura Albanese, who's a writer for the Daily News.
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Really
pretty
so-
excited.
tune
Huge
in
Met
Sunday
fan
night.
from Brooklyn. It's like it was meant to happen.
We encourage you all to tune in.
Sunday night at 8. So, yeah, that's exciting. Two things I'd like to talk about during happy hour. If everybody could come up with their, so start, bench, trade. So like marry, kill, and
Mm-hmm.
And
You
what?
know, the other
Come on,
one.
Mike.
And what, Mike?
Say it.
Mike,
this
what
is
is
a
it?
kid show, man. So bench, trade, start.
Are you picking a sport or are you,
You
favorite
pick,
team?
Yeah,
What do
pick 3 athletes. So you could pick like Jordan, Bird, Shaq. You know what I mean? You got to bench
Mhm.
one, trade one.
So everybody
start one.
everybody pick 3 athletes and then we'll go around and we'll say, okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be
Gotcha.
cool.
Gotcha.
Do you like it?
I
I think it'd be cut. I think it'd be start, bench, cut.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
I like
that's
that.
cool. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Because
I
you
like
trade, you're going to get something back from them.
Yeah,
you
you're right.
got to cut them.
I want. Yeah,
Yeah, and then we got to start
cut
talking
him.
about
I
mid-level
wanna cut somebody.
exceptions and cash considerations. So it'll probably get messy. So yeah, I think cut would be.
Start, bench,
Yeah,
cut.
cut.
I love it.
let's just start cutting people. Sorry.
Yeah, so everybody, start, bench, cut. Come up with 3 athletes, and we'll go around the table. Also, we are going to rank top 3 Disney movies. Only Disney animation, not none of this
You're
3D.
just trying to
crap.
bring Rob back.
Bro,
Every
I
Friday.
can't even make it Friday.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh
We
no!
got to hold that one off, maybe.
All right, I'll hold it off. Top 3 video games. Find out next. All right. Well, guys, That was an awesome happy hour. I'm glad I get to educate you and bring you onto my side on Cam Newton. Let's hope that Tim Tebow gets to swing the old pine this year for the New York Mets. It's not going to happen, Mike says. All right, well,
he bats 163, bro. If you bat a 163, you'd be benched in Little League. Like, stop.
Listen, did you ever see Angels in the outfield?
I did.
There's an angel going to be walking. Yeah. There's going to be an angel walking on Met right into Citi Field.
Huh? If Tim Tebow plays and we win the World Series, I will start going to church.
50% of that might happen.
None of that.
Oh, he's going to the Mets.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. Half of that, the World Series is going to happen.
Yeah, okay.
You're right.
Sure, buddy.
I love you all. I love you all.
Hey guys, listen, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Stuff About Sports. I'm Germ. We got Bert, Ty, Corey, and Mike. Join us this Friday. Give us a Shot Network Facebook page for happy hour. Shower peeing, is it acceptable? We'll find out on Friday.
God, you want to say it?
There's only 2 people in the world: people that pee in the shower and fucking liars. No, that's the funniest thing. That's just talking about that upstairs.
Peeing in the shower.
Yo, they were just talking